All right, all right. Hey, welcome to the Strong Side Podcast. And check this out. We don't even have a name for it yet. Maybe it is the Strong Side Podcast. Maybe it's Strong Side Nation. I don't know yet. I just know it's going to be awesome. All right, so check it out. I'm Mitchell Black. I'm here with Matt Morgan Freeland, and not to be confused with Matt Morgan Freeman.
I wish.
And
I wish I had his voice working on it.
He narrates everything.
Yeah, he does. With a beauty.
So Matt runs all of our coaching and all of our training here at StrongSide, and Coach Alex just walked in. I know you can't see her, but what's up, Coach Alex? It's a big old party here. But so Matt runs all of our coaching and training and stuff like that. And what we want to do is we want to use this podcast to communicate with our members as much as we can and as efficiently as possible. So if somebody outside the walls of StrongSide wants to listen to this, that's awesome. I hope you get some value from it. I hope you give it a 5-star review. I hope it's just fantastic for you. But what it's really for is, hey, we got all these things coming up on the gym. What are we going to do? How do we communicate this in a streamlined product or service for our members? And I think you guys would like that. So here's what we're doing before we introduce Matt, where we turn some things over to him. In October, so Saturday, October 24th, we're going to be running an intramural competition. Okay, so again, that is Saturday, October 24th. We do 2 intramural competitions a year. The last one that we did was in March, and they're always themed, so that was St. Patrick's Day themed. And then this one that we're doing in October is a it's a Spooktacular is what we're calling it. So it's very Halloween themed, all right? It is only for our members. We're going to get into talking about the difference between competitions for members only and competitions that are local and stuff like that. But it's only for our members, so you guys can feel safe and just throw down with your buddies, and maybe it's your first one or 10th one or whatever. It's teams of 2, so it's 2 men or 2 women. There's going to be different divisions. RX are scaled. We'll break those down, okay? It is 3 events on that day. So far, what have we covered? Saturday, October 24th. You're doing 3 events over the course of about 3 or 4 hours. You're in either 2 men or 2 women teams. You can compete in RX or scaled. You get points per workout, and you're trying to accumulate points. So the highest amount of points wins, or get seconds or get third, whatever. And we have a podium, and it's a fun time. And whether you like it or not, you're going to have fun. Cool?
Sounds good.
Yeah, So Matt, I know a lot of people are getting to know you and all that kind of stuff. So touch on for just a second, like what you do here. You've been here like 3-4 months, which has been amazing. And what you're hoping, don't worry about all the nitty gritty stuff. We're going to get into that yet, but what you're hoping for our members to get out of this intramural competition.
So most of you guys, I know actually all of you guys have probably met me. So what I do here is I'm in charge of all the training aspects, making sure the coaches are, on the level of no matter what class you come to, you're getting the same experience. You're not just avoiding a coach because you don't like that coach. My job is to make sure that everyone enjoys every single class you go to. And what was the next question? There was a lot of questions in one.
Yeah, I know. I'm just long-winded, I guess. But what are you hoping that our members get out of this competition? What do you think it's going to bring to them?
So the cool thing about like this intramural comp is intramural comps are really cool to do, and especially because one, it takes away the fear of doing a comp. A lot of people think, oh, you have to be really, really fit to do a comp. You don't. It takes a good snapshot of your fitness.
Good. That means I can compete.
Yes, you could if you wanted to, but maybe not. So it gives like a good snapshot of your fitness. So the cool thing that like this week we're doing all these baseline tests for fitness. That's what a comp does as well. So like these workouts, you might see them again in another comp, future comp, who knows? But intramural comps are cool to do just because it's only with your peers. Like, yes, your friends can come cheer you on, whatever, but you're competing next to your friends. You're not competing next to unknown people. These are your friends. These are people who go here.
Yeah, so let's just talk about that. So I'm currently putting this on Instagram.
He's being fancy. He's trying to multitask.
Yeah, and I am, dude, if you want to talk about multitasking, talk to Ashley. I am the worst multitasker.
As she shakes her head, no.
Yeah, no, she's saying I am. She's agreeing. Dude, I'm so bad. Like anything. Like if you're just like, drink this water, and then, well, that's a bad example because you can't talk and drink water, but
it'd be kind of impressive if you could.
I mean, but just anything. I cannot do two things at one time. When I was a kid, I was diagnosed with hyperfocusing ADD because, and I probably still freaking have it, but like when I'm doing something, I do it so intently that the rest of the room's on fire, but I can only focus on that one thing. So yeah, I'm terrible at multitasking. Hence why we derailed. But so let's talk about just what intramural comps are, right? So I know all of our members are fired up. They're excited. They're like, hey, we're going to do this thing. But a lot of people have questions. They're like, dude, what is this? How does it work? I'm kind of on the fence with it. I'm like, I think we can sum it up this way. We're about to talk about like the history of competitions and stuff with fitness, because a lot of people are like, what is competitive exercise? I don't even, box jumps for time. You really, like Matt's saying, dude, you really need to view it kind of like a 5K. I mean, if you're not going to win the 5K, does that mean you don't go do it? No, it means you're there for the free hot chocolate at the end.
Exactly. Or the bananas or donuts or whatever it is after they're done.
Yeah, you're there for the food. But it's also, too, just a way to better yourself. I mean, some people would be like, oh, well, I can't run the 5K, but I can walk the 5K. That is true. Some people can't even walk a 5K. Like, you have to be able to earn the right to compete, just like you have to be able to earn the right to do the 5K. That's kind of the cool part about the competition, is being able to earn that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the cool thing with the intramural comps is, like, your only thing that you have to do to earn this is you have to be a member, right? You're making it fun for all members. Like, yes, we released the events, and some are about to change. Don't worry. Hint, hint. So stay tuned. But the events are released, and a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do this, but I can do this. That's cool. That's fine. That's why you have a teammate.
Yeah, and that's like, you also get to earn it by like coming to class. Like, I mean, like, you know, you're trying to say, like, this is a thing that you're trying to achieve, and it's a neat stepping stone on things to work on to get better, to say, hey, look, one day I would like to be able to compete. Well, my first step is probably doing an in-house competition. I'm going to start trying to come to the gym 4 days a week. Like, you got to earn that fitness to be able to do it.
True.
So let's talk about just the history of what competitions are. So I think most people have seen the CrossFit Games, and that's like saying you've seen the Olympics. Like, okay, that's cool, but just because they run a marathon in the Olympics in like 2 hours does not mean that you have to run a 2-hour marathon. It means that you just need to show up and have fun.
True.
So I mean, CrossFit, the CrossFit Games started in like 2007 in the dirt. It was like 3 workouts and a barbecue after. Yep. And now it's just exploded like mainstream, which is cool. But again, that's like watching the Olympics, right? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to say, we want to bring you that atmosphere in the club or in the facility. But what I think is neat about what we can do is Matt and I are going to talk on some of our history. We've both competed at somewhat high levels, or at least trained frequently enough to try to get to that next level, and surrounded ourselves. This is a really good microphone. You can pick up Alex.
You can pick up Alex's
filling up her water bottle
with the flow water
in the background with the flow water.
No, you're good. Like, you could hear it. It literally sounded like someone was peeing in the background.
Yeah, so we need to say that that's not what's going on right now.
Alex was filling up her bottle.
Yeah.
No one was peeing on this podcast.
But the reason we're trying to communicate our extensive background is how much we've competed in and what we're going to be able to bring to the experience of intramural competition. So Matt's competed at a thing. Did you do Wadapalooza?
No,
but you did Granite Games.
Yeah, I qualified for Wadapalooza as an individual. I actually had to turn it down because I wanted to go as a team. That team fell apart. But yeah, I did compete at the Granite Games actually as an RX athlete, competed next to some games athletes. That was 2 years ago. And ever since then, I haven't done a RX like sanctional event. But I've competed at local comps all around.
And to give you guys some preface on that. So how it works is, like, when you're trying to compete at like the Olympics per se, like the CrossFit Games, they do this online competition. They put hundreds of thousands of people in there, and then they take, like, you know, the top whatever, like freaking 40 in the area to go to these other competitions, and then you have to qualify at those competitions to go to the games, and that's like what sanctionals and stuff are. I mean, there's obviously more to it, but you kind of get the idea, right? It goes from a big casted net, and then it gets real small real quick. So in order just to get to the next level, like a Granite Games or something like that, you have no idea how good you have to be just to suck.
True. Like I was in the RX division. So during the qualifier, there was, I think, almost 2,000 people that, tried to do this qualifier. And to even go, you had to be in the top 200 to even go and compete in the RX division. And I was literally number 195 in that, 195. And I somehow made it. I probably shouldn't have done RX. Like I was literally competing. If you know him, I was literally standing right next to Sam Dancer.
Who's like, if Stone Mountain was a human.
Yeah, like his quads are the size of my like whole body. Like he's a big guy. And we were doing a 1-rep clean and jerk. And this man literally was warming up next to me with 300 pounds. And I'm like, cool, that's my 1-rep right there. And that was his warm up. And I was like, yeah, this is scary. This is going to be fun, but scary.
I did a similar competition next to a guy named Danny Nichols, and Danny Nichols is like, I mean, he's a cool guy, but I'm just saying, like, if steroids were a picture, like, that would be it. Like, I don't know if he does steroids. I'm just saying, like, he is a massive human. And we did a 1-rep max clean and jerk, and
it's funny how that happens.
Yeah, and I think I got like 245, maybe 255. Like, and I'm dying. Like I am belt on tighter than you can imagine, eyeballs sucked into my head like crazy. And that dude did 410 pounds.
Shows you what you need to work on.
And I was like, wow, not even close.
Yep.
But, and then I trained with Brandon Phillips over at CrossFit Bound. There in Kennesaw. Brandon Phillips has been to the CrossFit Games like 5 times. He's back when it was in Aromas, like on the dirt. He was in Rich Froning's wedding. Go YouTube Wedding Day WOD by Rich Froning, and it's him and Brandon Phillips throwing down. And me and Brandon trained together for like 3 years. And I was actually talking to somebody today. We got all these new shirts in, and I was like, yeah, I want this white one, but my shirt hasn't come in yet. And they were like, what size are you? And I said, a medium. And they looked at me, and they were like, you're a medium? And I'm like, well, I'm not training full time anymore. I used to be a large. Like, I mean, so I was like 100 I think I got up to like 195, and I'm a pretty just naturally lean dude anyway. So to get to 195, that was quite challenging. But yeah, 2-3 workouts a day.
Yeah,
like your rest day is a track session.
Running, 5-7 miles in a rest day, and, lifting in the morning, doing a Metcon in the middle of the day, and then going at it again at night. It tears you up. And like for a while I wanted to get to the CrossFit Games, and then again, that's like watching the Olympics and being like, I want to compete in the Olympics. That's it. And Rich Froning has a pretty good analogy. He's like, dude, nobody shoots a basketball and says, oh, I'm going to beat LeBron James next year. Like, so I was like, all right, I was an idiot. And then my goal was to get to regionals, and I wound up getting a little close, not super close, but I was like in the top couple hundred in the region. And I think I was in like the top 500 or something like that. And you got to get top 20 or 40 to go. But it gets so tight because you're in a pool of like tens of thousands of people. So literally you're talking like 1 or 2 reps. And I never made it, but you learn a lot. That's the whole point of the story, is that, throughout all that training, like Matt just mentioned, you learn so much about yourself. And whether you're trying to compete at a high level or a local competition, you fail all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, you're trying to do 10 pull-ups, you only got 9. You're trying to do a certain lift, you didn't make it. And it's how you come back from that. And the real story of doing an intramural competition is setting goals and achieving the goals. Yeah. And I always joke around in class, is like, I always say the line, like, it's okay to fail. It's like life. It's how you pick yourself back up. Like, you're going to fail in class. It's okay. Like, you might miss a lift in the comp. It's okay. But it's how you carry yourself after that makes your day.
Yeah, and the point of sharing those stories of trying to compete at really high levels and being around all these people and stuff like is really just so you can understand the thought pattern and the experience that goes into the competitions, why they're in that order, what the events are. Like, we're not trying to create events where there's a single dominancy. Okay, cool. Every workout is a really heavy barbell. What? Like, that's
not fair.
Yeah, or every workout is running. Like, you know, you got to have a great motor. It's all gymnastics. That's not really what we're trying to do. We're trying to see a really good blend of gymnastics, weightlifting, and cardio so you can get a good snapshot of what your overall fitness is.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing, like what went into like developing these events was like, how can I make it very well rounded? But another cool thing about intramural comps is like it's developed around what the members can do.
Ooh, that's true. That's very true.
So when I'm developing them, I'm like, oh, what can majority of these members do? Like, what's going to challenge them, but what majority can do? Like, if you go to another comp, like that's coming up in November, and hopefully a lot of people sign up for that. Like, there might be an event, like the heaviest I think we go is 115 for a shoulder to overhead.
Except for the max lift.
Except for the max lift. But like, that might be like the scaled weight at coming. But that's the RX division here. And I'm just thinking I took a snapshot of what majority of the people could do here, and that's how I developed these events.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, we're not just going to Google and being like Matt's looking across the board and being like, okay, on average, a challenging movement is this. Like a perfect example, muscle ups. There's no muscle ups in this intramural competition. We have a good bit of members that can do muscle ups.
Yeah.
But it would be
if we put it in the RX division, you would only have, 2 teams sign up?
Yeah, that's so lame to watch that.
I don't want 2 or 4 teams. I want, 20 RX, 20 scaled, or whatever it may be. I want it to be balanced, so it's not like, oh, I'm in the top 3 of RX because guess what? There's only 3 RX teams. That's not what we're trying to do.
Yeah, to segue into what Matt was talking about, like when he's talking about coming, there's a gym that we're really good friends with up in Coming that we do, and it's another part of Georgia because, you know, I'm assuming that everybody around the world's listening to this podcast. But
Coming, Georgia.
But so they do a competition every year. They're a good crew. But so there's in-house competitions and there's local competitions. So we just explained to you like the Olympics, right? Then there's in-house, which is what we're going to do. And then there's local competitions. Local competitions are a gym will say, hey, we're going to have a competition. We would like to invite a whole bunch of people. And then you can sign up and you can do it. And we used to do that every year at StrongSide. It started, I think we did 5 of them, maybe 6 of them, but I think it was 5. And we did it every year. And it was called the StrongSide Competition. It was every October. And it started one day. And it was like 4 or 5 events. And then it got to the point where I think 2018 was our last year, but 2017 was our biggest year. And we had 35 or 36 different gyms. We would start on Friday night and we would do like a fun, clean ladder event. The competition was Saturday and Sunday. We had 300 plus athletes. We had 30-something volunteers. They had to do check-in and volunteer meetings and stuff ahead of time. And it was like a big old deal, like all the way through it. And we had to look at it and say, okay, are we an event business or are we a gym? So I know a lot of our members like, we should bring it back. But I'm like, bro, like we killed people. Yeah. Like we would have a elite division. And there was like one year there was 5 CrossFit Games athletes in the elite division. We didn't give away money prizes, but we like drove the competition so much, being like, you know, we have this person and this person competing, and it was great. But God, dude, our members were trashed for like 2 weeks.
Then we wouldn't see anybody probably.
And I'm like, that's not what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
we're trying to give you something that you can attend on a Saturday morning, enjoy some workouts. I'm not saying they're going to be easy. They're going to be freaking hard.
Yeah, they're going to be difficult, but you shouldn't leave here and be like, oh, well, I'm going to miss the gym for a week.
Yeah, and that's not what Cumming's going to be. What Matt's saying is Cumming is, one day, 3 or 4 workouts or events, but they're not programmed to you. Like Matt is not, literally.
Yeah, I'm programming these strictly for our members. The one in Cumming or any other, local comps outside of our gym will be programmed for the masses. They're not just programming it individually for their members. They're trying to make it fun. Yes, fun, but yes, difficult at the same time. But it's not programmed for you guys. It's programmed for the masses.
So let's go into that. When we talk about what we're programming for and all that, we have 2 different divisions. So we have RX and we have scaled. And those terms, so we're going to be Matt and I are going to do another podcast, I think like 2 podcasts from now on the difference between RX and scaled and how to scale workouts in the gym and stuff. So you can look forward to that. We already got that on the schedule. But RX just means as prescribed. Yep. And the way you need to look at that is that's the hardest way we want you to do it for that day. And then scale means that it's not necessarily easier, but it might be something that's more manageable. And those are the divisions. So go ahead and talk on those 2.
So RX, yes, it stands for as prescribed. So for this event, like, yes, we have 3 events, and yes, there's an RX division, and yes, there's a scale division. Movements might be similar, but they're different at the same time. They kind of mirror each other. For the comp, some of the, I think let's use the weightlifting one, for example, the second event. The scale division, it's complex. The very first movement is a hang power clean. For the RX, it's going to be a hang squat clean, right? And like most people, when they look at those movements, are like, you know what, I can hang power, but I have a difficult time hitting a squat. Cool. That right there, it's a mobility issue, like you can't get below parallel, then maybe you should do scaled. But for example, let's say the third event, like it's double unders. Oh, I have double unders, but I'm not that great at them. All right, that's fine. You can still do them. That's a win. That automatically should put you in that RX division. Most people are going into this competition and they're thinking, I need to be in the division that I can win in. And I don't want you to look at that. Do the division that you can do the movements. And that's what I scale. That's how I built these workouts. Is the 2 hardest movements that you have in this that are, I guess I'll put in quotations, RX movements, or a lot of times whenever we say this is RX, double unders and pull-ups. It's the 2 only, I guess, RX movements that are in this.
Well, then there's a scale difference, whether it's RX scale, on the complexity. Mm-hmm. So, for example, the first workout is, rowing. Okay, so the scale for rowing is just row slower.
Yeah.
And then there's snatches. The difference there, so that's just a high skill movement across the board that not a lot of people like. And then the scale there is simply the weight, right?
Yep.
And then, to your point, is the pull-ups. On event 2, it's a 1 rep max, but what we're trying to do with having a scale in an RX division is, more than likely somebody going RX has just probably been working out for a long time. So naturally they would lift more.
Yep.
Or at least I would hope. So they shouldn't compete against somebody who's been here 3 months. That's probably not, the best scenario.
Yeah.
So we have the RX and scale divisions for that. And then you have the skill transfer, like Matt was saying, a hang squat clean versus a hang power clean. You have a little bit more skill variability there because it's not just weight, it's what weight can you do with that skill. Mm-hmm. And then going into the third workout, again, high skill movement while you're tired. Can you jump on a box versus stepping on a box? Can you do a double under? And even, dude, forget that. All the shoulder to overhead they have to do in event 3, you need a lot of skill to be able to translate that weight. Mm-hmm. So even regardless of weight, the RX is a lot of skill.
It is a lot of skill. And there's still a lot of skill even in the scale. I don't want you guys to think scale's just going to be so much easier in the day. No, it's not easier. It's just what you physically can do. If shoulder to overhead, RX weight is 115 for guys. And then for the scale, it's 75. If you can't do any more than 95 pounds to bring from your shoulder to overhead, cool. Then you do the scale. That's the cool thing about this comp. It's I guess scaled to you guys. We scaled this whole competition for you guys.
Yeah, and it's these movements are not in the competition, but let's just use handstand push-ups. The RX might be handstand push-ups, and the scale in a class setting might be seated dumbbell strict press.
Yeah.
Dude, intensity is relative. Let me tell you how much about 15 seated strict dumbbell
those get hard
presses.
too.
It is not easy.
No. I don't want anyone to look down on someone that is scaling. No one should ever be like, oh, you're scaling the comp? Shame on you. No. There's probably a reason they're scaling. I don't want anyone to do this whole comp and be able to do every RX movement, but do scaled because you're going into the mindset of winning.
Yeah, that's the big deal.
That's not the point. The point is to get a snapshot of your fitness. Maybe it's oh, I can do all the RX movements, but I'm not that great at double unders. Guess how you're going to get better at double unders? By doing them.
Which goes back to the first point of, the story that you learn along the way. Like if you sign up and I'm not telling you to overcommit. I'm just having the conversation, like going back to everything you're going to learn. If you're just like, well, I can do 10 double unders in a row. It sure would be cool to get 30 double unders in a row, but you never do anything that like forces you to do that.
Yeah.
You'll learn real quick.
I've seen so many people, and going back to like the competition aspect, when CrossFit does their CrossFit Open, like a lot of people hit their first muscle up. A lot of people hit their first double under because they're under that pressure. You'll be surprised what you can do under pressure.
Yeah, so you should definitely give into the peer pressure, and everybody should go RX. That's what I'm hearing.
Heck yeah. I'm just kidding. No, just do something. Do the the division that, 1, you're gonna have fun. 2, it's not about winning. And 3, look at the movements and be like, I can do all those movements, and I'm gonna have fun doing it. And I'm not doing it just because I know I'll be on the podium at the end of the day. That's not what it's about.
And then I would even take it one step further and just say, like, if you're on the fence of doing it, just freaking do it.
Oh,
like, you literally have nothing to lose. You are not qualifying for anything. There are no awards. You might get a bag and some fit aid. You get a free T-shirt for paying to sign up.
Yep.
But I'm bummed. But so you got which division, and then you just got like literally. There is nothing to lose. Like now again, if you have been here for 2 weeks and you're struggling to lift the barbell, that goes back to earning the right to compete. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way. I mean that I want you to feel rewarded, and maybe you should train for our next one in March or April. But I want you to feel like you put in the work and you're like, okay, this is something that I actually did. But you can do it.
Oh yeah. Like, it gives you a reason to, maybe you're only coming into the gym twice a week and you're like, man, I really want to do this comp, but I'm not quite ready. Cool. You can, guess what? You probably, if you could and can, maybe take that 2 days a week and come 4 days a week and just come into the gym. And that's the cool thing. Like, we will help you along the way. Like, if you have a goal, let me know. Let Mitchell know. Let any of the coaches know. We can help you get to that goal and push you in these workouts. Like, that's the cool thing. Like, every Saturday we're doing these team events, right? Or team WODs. And so it's building up to the comp. The team event comps or the team WODs will, maybe you don't have a partner. You're on the fence of finding a partner. Come Saturday, come to a class. Heck, we have the sign-up board now that we can write your name on the board and we can find you a partner and just have fun.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool. And if you don't want to compete, you can volunteer. We need judges. We need people for scoring. We need event management, stuff like that. And it's been really neat watching people volunteer. And then they're like, you know what? The next one or next year, I'm going to do it. I was talking to Mandy. I'm going to murder her last name, Cassilis. And this morning, and she's like, you know what? I volunteered at the last one. I got me a partner for this one. I'm so excited. I'm like, bro, dude, that's it. Like, that is so cool that you were like, I'm going to go get it. Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about volunteering. We're so appreciative of everyone that's going to volunteer, take their time on a Saturday, volunteer, judge, whatever you do. You're not being left out. We will take care of you. We'll feed you and all this stuff. So don't worry.
Yeah. We have soup for everybody.
Soup and bread.
We'll hook you up with some stuff, man. But so that's how the different divisions work. And so we're not going to go over each event in like absolute detail. We will send it out if you guys haven't seen it already. But just the events in general, how they work is, it's like running the race, right? You're running a 5K. You can't change the course. So you're given this work, you're given this obstacle, and you try to accomplish that. So the weight is what it is. The movement is what it is. Everybody has a judge. Your judge is not there to coach you. Your judge is to ensure that the quality of the movement was met, or the standard of the movement was met to where everybody in the room squatted the same way. Mm-hmm. Everybody in the room put it over their head the same way, because you are getting points, and we want to make it fair. And they'll let you know if it didn't count. They'll kick you real hard in the stomach. No, I'm just kidding. They'll say no rep.
And that, again, a lot of the movements that you do see in the event or in the comp were very thought out, something that's easy to judge. Because, like, if I put push press in this instead of the shoulder to overhead for the third event, you know how hard a push press is to judge? Because most people who push press do a jerk.
Yeah, and And we're going to be doing all of these workouts in class. So,
Hint.
leading up to the competition, you will see one event each week or something like that before registration closes. So you can figure out if you want to do it or not. Maybe you want to bring your buddy to that class. Maybe you just want to do it, get a feel for it. And these are normal workouts. Like, these are not exercises you've never seen before. Again, this is not the Olympics. This is not the CrossFit Games where we're, flying stuff in from out of town. This is normal fitness, just at a really hyped up level. It's super fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So, how are they going to be able to sign up? So we're gonna download this podcast, and then we're gonna send this out in an email, and then are they signing up on Wodify? How's it work?
So it's a Wodify Arena. It's a completely different app. So during that link, you'll get a link for Wodify Arena. Your login will be your Wodify login. So same username, same password. How you log into Wodify will be how you log into Wodify Arena. When you guys do this, only one person per team needs to sign you guys up. So amongst you guys, please get with your teammate, figure out who's going to sign up who. During that sign up, ask your partner what shirt size they want and all that stuff during sign up. So sign up will go live. That's how you'll do it. You'll be able to see the events on there. Also, if you're a judge or volunteer, you will also sign up through that app as well.
Judges or volunteers can sign up on there.
Mm-hmm.
There is a fee to register. I forget how much it is, but we'll let you know what it is. You're not going to pay when you sign up on the Wodify Arena app. You'll just sign up, and then it'll go on your account with anything else that you might have got, like a T-shirt or something like that. Probably in the middle of October. Like, we're going to make the deadline for registration, October 10th or whatever, but whatever day that is. And that's when the charge will go through. So it won't be at the amount or at the time of registration.
Yeah. So, get your buddy, get ready to sign up. If you don't have a buddy, come to class, come Saturday. We'll put your name on the board and get you guys a partner, and we'll send all that out.
Yes.
Ashley's also looking for an RX partner in case you guys need a partner. RX.
Snap.
Ashley is looking.
All right. So Saturday, October 24th, 8 a.m. You're hitting 3 events, teams of 2, either 2 men or 2 women. It's RX or scaled. You'll accumulate points, and you'll see which place you can get. Oh, tagline to that. In Wodify Arena, this is one cool thing we'll be able to do. You'll be able to see instant scoring uploads.
Yep.
So when our scoring team is inputting it, rather than sitting around and waiting, you'll be able to use that app and see where you're at and all that kind of stuff. We broke down the difference between, like, watching the Olympics and the CrossFit Games, all that, and then what local competitions are. And this is an in-house intramural. It doesn't mean easy. It just means, hey, dude, it's just StrongSide Nation getting in and throwing down and having a great time is all that means. We're doing 3 events. Oh, we got to talk about what we're going to change on the last one real quick. And
I know if you guys have listened through this whole 32 minutes, I'm going to be impressed because you should have, because we said, hint, hint, event 3 is changing.
Yeah, so what are we doing? So really what we saw event 3, it was taking too much time, and we didn't want to extend the time cap because we want you to, what have we been talking about the whole time? Have fun, get out of here in a reasonable hour, whatever. So what are we doing?
So event 3, I tested it, had a few other people test it. It took a little bit longer than I wanted it to. So we are changing the reps.
Not the movements.
Just the reps. So the reps are going to be, instead of 100, 100, 100, 80, 80, 80, 60, 60, 60, 40, 40, 40, 20, 20, 20. It's only going to be 90, 90, 90, 60, 60, 60, 30, 30, 30. Same movements. So same movements are staying, but we're changing it to that rep scheme.
Yeah, so it's still, what is it?
15-minute time cap.
No, what's the order?
Oh, so the order is going to be, for scale, it's going to be box step-ups, single unders, shoulder to overhead.
And then RX is box jump over, double under, shoulder to overhead.
Yep.
90 of each, 60 of each, 30 of each.
30 of each.
Cool.
Boom.
And I don't even feel bad about changing it. Like, that's how much we listen to the community. Like, we had 3 or 4 different teams test it out. Coaches tested it out. Like,
yeah, it was super fun.
And it was just like making sure. I mean, that would be terrible if we had an event that nobody finished, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did it. Yes, I'll be completely honest. I did it in my garage, and I got to the round of 40, and almost passed out. Like, my heart was, I was redlined. Like, I blacked out.
So where do they sign up again? Is that www?
So do not worry. It's not that difficult. Like, we literally just took the reps, and you just cut it in half. So you will be able to finish. This is all about, teamwork. How are you going to split it up? That's what this event's all about, like the whole time. How are you guys going to work together?
Yeah, I think each event has its own variability to it, and working together is a big deal, and how you communicate with each other. And I think this event 3 has event 1 is basically a relay. You go fast, then I go fast, then you go faster, and then event 2 you're just lifting really heavy.
Yep.
But this one has a lot of nonverbal cues. So how are you going to be able to communicate? When does things? I could talk about this for hours, like strategizing workouts and stuff, but like a lot of people just strategize what looks good on paper.
Yep.
Hey, I'll do 5 and then you'll do 5 and then I'll take all the load over here. And that sounds like a great idea when you're not tired.
But you need plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. And communication's key, just like any relationship.
Ooh.
We can have a relationship talk later.
Yeah, that was good. M&M life coaching.
Life coaching coming to you soon.
But I mean, yeah, just the more that you can do nonverbal communication, the more you can just settle in, and the more you can pick up where your buddy might be dying, and then they'll help you out. That the consistency is what matters more than just flipping out and going really fast.
Yeah, because if you go real fast, then you're gonna burn out real fast.
Ooh, that was good. Yeah, if you go out real fast, you're gonna burn out real fast. But I think it's just going to be fun, and I think everybody's going to have a good time getting better, and that's all we're trying to do is just have some fun, and you're going to come into a decorated facility and some cool T-shirts. We're going to throw some donuts at your face, and we're going to have a good time.
Yeah, come in your costumes. Best costume also.
Oh, yeah, we should do a best costume.
We should definitely do a best costume. Best costume for individual and best costume as a team.
Who's doing individual?
Oh, no, like an individual person.
Oh, like somebody who shows up.
Like one person individually comes in a costume.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, can be a guest volunteer, whatever. Gets like a prize. I don't know. I'm just making all this up.
No, we did that. We did that last Halloween. We didn't have an intramural competition, but we did best costume. And this dude came into the first class of the day, and he took a picture of my face and blew it up to like a giant fat head.
That's hilarious.
And taped it to his face, and then said that he was me.
That's hilarious. Jack, you should come as a tooth fairy again.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That's still streaming up on our TV.
Yeah, except his head's cut off.
All right, man. So hope you guys had fun listening to StrongSide Podcast. We have another one coming out with our leadership team on Friday. We'll be communicating some really interesting stuff. I'm really excited for that. Then me and Matt, our next one is going to be talking about scaling, just general workouts. How do you want to scale workouts? How do you want to hit MRX? Our entire goal of this podcast is to communicate with our members. Again, if the world wants to listen to it, that's awesome, but the main goal is to give you some value. So hope you had fun. This is our first one. So
I think we crushed it.
Yeah, don't be too hard on us.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
let's do it again.
It took me 5 minutes to kind of get in the flow, but yeah, I don't know. I felt good about it.
It was good. It only took one take. Not bad.
Yep. Cool, man.
Applause.
See you later, everybody.
See you guys.